This is a shocking and sad story that I wish I didn't have to do a segment on, but I think it's important people know about it. Alberta transgender wants medical assistance in dying after sexual reassignment surgery goes sour. This is from the Western Standard, NewsGuard certified, of course. We only use those certified fact-based outlets. And this is the terrifying reality for many people. The reason why leftists, why Jack Dorsey and Vijay over at Twitter previously argued in favor of these policies protecting trans people, as they called it, was because they wanted to prevent suicide. Twitter said that if we allow hate speech against trans people, they will take their own lives. I thought that argument was patently absurd because there are many groups of people who take their own lives in large numbers relative to other groups of people. I said there's also other dysmorphic disorders. Anorexia is a dysmorphic disorder that leads people to killing themselves inadvertently. And so why don't we ban for those? Their argument made literally no sense. We've now seen the rise of what's called MAID in Canada, medical assistance in dying or medical assistance in death. Basically, that if you want to, for basically any reason, you can just go die. The government will do it for you. Now, of course, here in Canada, I shouldn't say here, we're in America, they have specific criteria as to what would qualify you for being killed by the government voluntarily. This individual, trans, got surgery and it went wrong, as it often does. And now because of the pain, they want to die. I don't want you to die. I don't want anybody to die. I want to make sure we can protect people and help them live. But what the leftists are doing isn't that. The creation of MAID, they want people to die. These botched surgeries, they're making people miserable. It's terrifying. Here's the story. Duchess Lois made the announcement in a January 17th tweet, already viewed more than 45,000 times. Quote, I'm accessing MAID as a sterilized First Nations person of Treaty 6 who is also a post-op transsexual woman of 14 years. I qualify for it as someone who is sterilized and who has undergone vaginoplasty, two things that cannot be reversed or relieved. Lois posted a screenshot of the eligible conditions for medical assistance in dying. I am applying. I have the application, but I need one witness. But there is also a process if there is no witness, so I might just inquire about that option. As soon as I submit, then the official process begins of assessments. In her profile, Lois of Alberta said she knew reassignment surgery was a mistake. In 2009, I was rushed into having sexual reassignment surgery before I was ready, resulting in immediate regret and sterilization. Lois's thread announcing her decision to pursue MAID explained more of her story. The last couple of years were very intense medically for me. When I experienced depth loss in June 2021, I had to add a second dilation to my weekly routine to help myself. The doctor wasn't concerned, as she put it. We as females experience vaginal atrophy. I want to explain something and be warned, I guess. There is one purpose for what is called penile inversion vaginoplasty. One, it is to create a cavity in the body that a man can have intercourse with. That's it. I suppose you can argue that, and the left will, it is to create a cavity in the body to affirm the gender of the individual, but affirming, you don't need to give someone surgery to affirm them. Affirmation is a social construct. Whether you choose to affirm someone or not is not material. They might argue that it is to align the body more with the spirit so that the individual is less likely to self-harm. But again, what you're doing in this regard is causing physical damage to a body to create a cavity that tries to heal itself and close. And that's what they're referring to. Dilation is the process of sticking an object in to pry open the wound. I am not saying that to be mean. It is quite literally a wound. Hence, it tries to close. Lois was experiencing pain, but a request to see a specialist was unheeded by the doctor, who instead referred her to a gender clinic in Edmonton. In December of 2021, she had a phone appointment. We spoke about my hormones, another issue. then the pain and dilating. A referral was made to a specialist finally. 2022 came. I was referred to the Lois Hole Hospital for women about my hole. It was a phone consultation, nothing more. I was relabeled from homosexual to asexual by that doctor. Interesting. So this person who is biologically male and transitions and is given penile inversion vaginoplasty is called a homosexual. Lois's problems continued. Then came June 2022. I experienced a rare event of a confusional migraine that lasted 22 days. And during that time, I had forgot which genitalia I had, and it caused so much stress that I was in and out of the hospital and tried to raise this concern with several doctors. It was brushed off. I was so confused as to why I didn't have a penis anymore. That was the tipping point for me. It's what changed my life and mind that I can no longer trust this medical system that is captured by gender identity ideologies. It has killed the Indian. In the next tweet in the thread, Lois said, so yes, I qualify as a sterilized Indian who had a vaginoplasty. Then typed the national anthem along with an icon of the Canadian flag. A tweeter named Liam Danger Park tried to intervene. Your story can save lives. Hold on. To this, Duchess Lois replied, I am using my story and experience to ensure this never happens to anybody else. After others made subsequent pleas that Lois would live, she wrote, I'm still here fighting. We need all levels of government to see this and see what is happening within our country. Another tweeter named Al Bubu offered Lois something to think about. Have you considered that the MAID program is a bit similar to the transition process in that it is activist driven and offering some solution, just an opinion, but from here it feels similar. Lois was not persuaded. I get to be free. I'm not scared. I'm just tired of suffering. Another tweeter said, things will get better. The world needs you, and you have a purpose in this world in some shape or form. You have a purpose. Lois replied, maybe this is my purpose, albeit a timed purpose, but still a purpose nonetheless. I hope they end medical assistance in dying. I hope this person lives. But it's a scary thought. An individual who is suffering tremendously with a surgical wound that is causing them serious pain and suffering. I think there's so much evil going on right now, and I don't know what to do about it. I can speak out about it. We can vote against it, and maybe that's the best we can do because we have to shift the culture. The culture that allowed this to happen needs to be stopped, and we need to build a new culture. That's why I'm so hell-bent on, the coffee shop, the skate shop, things like that, because we just need to create spaces people want to be a part of so we can shut down these bad ideas, these insane medical practices. The thread already captured the attention of U.S. psychologist Karlin Borisenko, who wrote about it on her Substack, Actively Unwoke. She said she hoped Lois could find peace, but believed others shared some responsibility. Yes, the far left and the radical gender industry are to blame for not stopping this before it got to surgery. That's true. But the media and mainstream journalists should have been on this years ago. It should have been wall-to-wall coverage warning people what was happening. They have the biggest reach into the land of the normies, and they have responsibility to use it. It was discovered mostly by independent journalists. This is where we're going. This is why we speak out against MAID. But you know what I see in all of this? The end result is going to be a reduction in population. Abortion, sterilization, medical assistance in dying. They are basically screaming to end your bloodline, to sterilize your kids, to abort your kids, or to end your own life. Believe whatever you want. There are conspiracy theories, whatever you want to call it. That's what the media says. The idea that powerful global elites want less people is a conspiracy theory. You are the carbon they are trying to reduce, as the saying goes. You're not going to convince me, and I don't care what you think. I'm not saying it's conspiracy, but I'm saying when you have prominent individuals like Bill Gates get up on stage and say we need to, at a TED Talk, and say we need to reduce the population growth, get it down. When you have all of these global elites talking about Malthusianism or whatever, or the population bomb, and then they begin advocating for abortion and sterilization and medical assistance in dying and lockdowns for that matter. And you're like, hey, all of those things lead to death and a reduction in human life. I would not be surprised if the real intent was a culling of humans. But let's be real people. I'm not going to play games. What happens when there's too many deer? Late at night, I get 12 deer on my lawn, or 15. And at first, the 1 or 2 deer, it was funny. Look at the little deer. Look at they're eating the leaves. Oh, they're hilarious. Then it was 7. We were like, wow, now there's 7 of them. Now there's 15. And there's massive deer crap everywhere. It's too much. Wolves are supposed to be eating them or something, but they're not because we're here. That's why we hunt the deer. We have to keep their populations down within a reasonable level. Do humans think that they're exempt from this? Well, I'll tell you my thoughts. I don't think humans are, but the difference between a human and a deer is that we invent things and we can solve our problems with technology. That is to say, I got a solution to the deer crap. We can put up a fence. We can do a lot of things. We can cull the deer, or we can just get rid of the crap. In terms of there being too many humans, the difference is deer can't go to outer space. Humans can. And that's what I think these people don't understand. We are not animals needing to be culled. There may be many of us, that's true. What we need is a realignment of our intellectual prowess to develop technology to make the system more robust, something a deer can't do. I'll leave it there. Next segment's coming up in a few minutes. Stick around, and I'll see you all shortly.